I got this show called Song of the Bandits. It's 9 episodes, and trust me, this is not for the weak at heart. So we got this guy by the name of Lee, right? He gets this message in the mail talking about, I found the person you're looking for. It's by this lady named Sion. I was like, who the fuck is he looking for? He got this guy by the name of Suki needs to have him to come to this celebration or something like that. So we find out Lee is actually Lieutenant Lee, and he actually worked for Suki. But here's the thing. He was actually one of Suki's slaves at first, but then he trained him and made him become a soldier. And before that, he was doing all types of stuff. And then after that, he ended up becoming a lieutenant. So think about all the atrocities this motherfucker had to go through, right? So Suki ends up calling Lee his best friend. That's how he supposedly feels about him. But the thing is, Lee never made it to the celebration. In fact, he just ended up going to the bar and getting drunk. So they get to talk and Suki's pissed off, right? He knows why he's upset. He's still thinking about this situation that happened 6 years ago. But they ended up killing this innocent family and burning them alive. It was crazy. But that's not all to the story. I'll explain that in a minute. So basically, Lee's about to leave the regime. He has to leave tomorrow or whatever like that. The thing is, Suki does not try and let him leave. He's damn near about to shoot him before he goes. But the thing is, he does end up leaving. So the thing is, Lee ends up dipping out, goes to his journey or whatever like that, ends up meeting up with Sion. It's crazy. They go through the desert. They got these little sandstorms or whatnot. You see like dead people hanging up on poles and trees and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? But basically, they're supposed to be going to the town that she's staying at, right? And the thing is, we found out she used to be a slave too, under Suki. Apparently, Suki used to beat the shit out of her, you know what I'm saying? Somehow, she ended up getting freed, and now she's making money selling guns. So they finally get to this town, right? They're getting something to eat, right? And all of a sudden, something breaks out. You got Kang and his army of niggas. They just go into this bar saloon and just start murking niggas. I'm like, what the heck? The people that he murked was part of the Nodeku gang. I'm not sure exactly what they're fighting over. Maybe it's turf, maybe it's money, it's something. I don't know. We get this long stare down with Lee staring down Kang. And Sam's like, look, don't get involved in that shit, man. It's just crazy. But you already know this nigga gonna get involved. You already know. So it gets to this point, he's in the crib, he's having these flashbacks, it's crazy, yo, then he ends up waking up. He hears gunshots going off. We're like, what the fuck is going on? Apparently the Nodeku gang caught one of them niggas slipping. Ended up done dealing his candy ass while Lee looks on. Stare downs and shit. So here's a little tidbit. Apparently when the beef was happening earlier, the police came by later, but all they did was come out and collect the bodies. I'm like, they don't do shit about this? Apparently all these niggas is tied in together. The Japanese army, the police, and a bunch of other shit. It's like, yo, what the fuck? They just hope niggas just eliminate each other. They ain't trying to lock people up or nothing. I'm just like, yo, they're wildin'. So then later on, he says goodbye to Seihan because he's got to end up going to this town to find this dude. We found out this dude's name is Chosen. He wasn't really welcome at first until they found out he wasn't part of the brigade, you know what I'm saying? So Chosen makes sure he's comfortable, gives him bedding and stuff like that. He's getting help from this chick by the name of E. Now, she's straightening up the room and stuff, whatever like that. Lee gets a suspicion. It turns out this chick E is there to kill Lee. I'm like, what the fuck? Then after that shit doesn't work, he started explaining stuff, whatever like that. He says he came all this way to let Chosun kill him. I'm like, what? You're probably thinking to yourself, how did E know to find him here? Well, apparently he left a letter at the house or whatever like that, and she happened to go to the house and pick it up. So you're thinking to yourself, oh shit, did she kill everybody in that fucking house? So then after Lee told her Chosun was supposed to kill him, she ends up just like going back to folding up clothes and stuff like that because she's thinking to herself, if he's dead anyway, then my job is done. But the person that hired E to kill Lee was fucking Suki. I'm like, yo. So Lee ends up going up to Chosun and finally telling him, you know what I'm saying, he was sent there so he could kill him. But here's the reason why. Because Lee was the one that led the brigade to kill Chosun's whole fucking family. I'm like, yo. And apparently that's the incident that happened 6 years ago, but it continues on. The whole village got wiped out, done deal, dead as shit. The thing was, Lee was pissed off about this because these are like, oh, these are innocent bystanders. They didn't even do anything wrong. But he's following orders from Suki, and bottom line is he was like, get everybody wiped the fuck out. So Lee apparently ended up taking out the soldiers that took out the family. Then they got into a beef with other soldiers, ended up wiping them out, whatever like that. But then Suki ends up shooting Lee, so you think Lee's done deal, dead as shit, but apparently he wasn't. They continue to done deal niggas and burn them at the stakes. I'm like, this is crazy. After hearing all this, Chosen gets like a bow and arrow and he's about to done deal Lee, but then all of a sudden they hear screaming outside and he puts the bow down. And Lee was just sitting there. He was going to let him do it. All of a sudden the Nodeku gang comes out of nowhere and starts murking niggas or whatever like that. They end up capturing this one chick, got the mom crying and everything. And half the fucking village gets murked, yo. It's crazy. Now next day, Chosen and the boys are out there burying bodies. The mom can't take the fact her daughter is gone, so she ends up taking an arrow, stabbing it in the neck. She's done deal dead at her own self. I'm like, what the fuck? So then Lee's like, hey, Chosen, you not gonna do nothing about this? He's like, we always try to do something. The bottom line is every time we do something, more people die. I'm like, yo. Because Lee's like, they're gangs. They're gonna come back and cook niggas anyway. We stand up and fight, you know what I'm saying? So Lee's like, fuck this. He ends up going back to Seihan, and he's like, yo, I need some guns. So she got my man strapped up and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Now he's off to go get the Nodeku gang. Now you're thinking to yourself, why is he going by himself? Well, apparently Lee, that nigga is like that. So Seihan's talking to one of the countrymen trying to figure out like the same thing I just said. Like, yo, why is he going by himself? Oh, apparently he used to be called the Grim Reaper. I'm like, the fuck? Who gave him that name? So apparently this nigga Lee is so strategic, he wiped out a whole Russian brigade by himself. I'm like, the fuck? Around that time, a Russian brigade would have been 300 people. Nigga. So about 20 of these motherfuckers ain't shit to him. He wiped all these niggas out, got the girl back, even though her mom ended up killing herself and shit. Then he's talking to Chosen, and Chosen's like, yeah, you could die for a family or die for a cause. And Lee's like, you know what? I can't die yet. He's talking about we need more people. We gotta fight off the Japanese army, the cops, the gangs, and all that shit, right? So they go through these little montages. He's thinking to himself, he needs some people. And you get like a montage of these 6 other niggas that he's probably thinking about in his head, like, yo, we gotta get niggas together. I'm thinking at this point, they're gonna get a whole bunch of people together and just start going around murking niggas that deserve it. Yo, this show early is wild, yo. Song of the Bandit on Netflix. Check it out. 9 episodes, nigga.